It's Tuesday. You know what that means. Thanks for joining me today. I've got a very good story for you today. It deals with hypocrisy in the media. But first, I want to explain that when I do a story that is not a headline story, something that is not in the news today, it doesn't do as well as if I were to do breaking news. And so I need your help. I need you to hit that like button, and let's see if we can get to 100 likes on this video. We did on the last video, and I thank you for that. So let's do that again. And today, I want to talk about Congressman Eric Swalwell and the reporting on said congressman by the most influential publication in the United States, the New York Times. So, if you don't know Congressman Swalwell, he did run for president in the Democratic primary. He was one of the 22 or whatever that ran. But first, I forgot. Flame on. There we go. I hope you had a good Christmas. I had a great Christmas. I was out at the coast. Did you get anything? Did you get anything good? I did. I got this awesome carved mask from Fiji. I think I'll be adding it to the set here. I really like that. But let's talk about the congressman. Eric Swalwell, you've seen him on all the cable news shows because he was one of the biggest proponents of RUSSIAGATE. This idea that Trump colluded with the Russians to steal the 2016 election. And Eric Swalwell, while he didn't do well in the Democratic primary, he did get a lot of time on camera, on national camera, talking about this baseless conspiracy theory that has been totally proven false. But he was one of the biggest critics of President Trump pushing this idea of Russian interference in the U.S. election. Now, what's really ironic about this story is it turns out that Congressman Swalwell actually had a relationship, we'll say alleged a relationship with someone that could be allegedly a Chinese spy. Now, this didn't happen while he was in Congress. This was before he went into Congress. Now, apparently nothing came of this. The FBI told him, hey, you be careful with this person. We think she's a spy. And he ended everything with her. But she did have some influence on who got jobs in his office and things like that. And this is a really interesting story. It is interesting that a sitting congressman could have had a relationship with a foreign spy that had influence on who worked in his office. And you would think if you did something like that, you might be impeached, you might be removed from office. Nothing's really come of it. But at the very least, this is a story. Now, this isn't the biggest story of 2020, but it is a worthy story. And the New York Times has not covered this story at all. They've not given 1 inch in their paper about this. Here's a search of the New York Times today. And again, they haven't covered it. Now, other publications have covered this story, and there have been many opinion pieces written on it. I'll link to a few in the description if you want to check them out. There was one from yesterday in the Wall Street Journal that was quite good. But I want to read to you from this Hill article from a couple weeks ago. If you're a New York Times subscriber who also watches the broadcast network Evening News and considers that your news diet, there's a very good chance that you haven't heard about Representative Eric Swalwell of California and his ties to an accused Chinese spy a few years ago. To review why this is absolutely worthy of coverage, Swalwell's interaction with the alleged spy known as FANG, including, according to Axios, FANG placing an intern in Swalwell's office and helping to fundraise for his 2014 re-election campaign. In 2015, the FBI provided Swalwell a defensive briefing to warn him of the threat she appears to pose. So the first obvious question is this. Given how easily Swalwell was duped, why did House Speaker Nancy Pelosi shortly thereafter place him on the House Intelligence Committee, which oversees the CIA and therefore has access to the highest levels of sensitive classified information? The New York Times doesn't seem to care about getting an answer to that question. And I think that that's a very valid point that the Hill brings up here in this opinion piece. Why is it that this isn't worthy of any attention at all? You know, I know a lot of people that think that they're well informed. They get the New York Times every Sunday. They listen to NPR, and that is their news diet. That's all that they have. And they really believe that the New York Times is the highest, the most trustworthy of all news in the U.S. But in this case, there's a blackout on this story. They're not telling any of their readers about this. And it's important. It's important to know that someone on the House Intelligence Committee may have had a relationship with a Chinese spy who helped put someone in his office. That's a big deal. But the New York Times doesn't want you to know that. And this piece continues. Of the biases we see in major media, the sin of omission is one that seems to occur only when the protagonist of the major story has a D next to his or her name. So when the New York Times, which has a whopping 7 million subscribers and is considered the country's most influential publication, doesn't see the Swalwell story as a story at all, it tells you just as much about its moral compass as it does about its editorial decisions. Now, I think that that is very true. That is spot on in this. And that's what I'm going to encourage you to do as well. If you really want to understand the world around you better, you got to get outside of your bubble. But you have to take in news not only from establishment sources, but also from independent sources. And not just independent sources that repeat establishment talking points. You need some actual independent reporting in your bubble. And if you don't have that, you're going to be like the New York Times readers here and be left totally in the dark on an important story. So, let me know. Do you have an opinion about why the New York Times might be avoiding telling their audience about this story, about Eric Swalwell and the Chinese spy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have an awesome day. Peace.